Hey, how are you guys? Merry Christmas to everybody. Today is the 24th. In a few hours, we're going to be celebrating Christmas. Well, in this moment here in the east side, and tonight, before Christmas and before New Year, the 2022, I decided to record this video uh, to talk about the mind. As you know, my name is Mr. Rui, and when I do these videos, I want to just share some information from you. This is not an assumption from me, it's just information that I am sharing with you guys. So, the reason I'm doing this, well, I have many reasons really, but is probably I'm gonna be doing this the next year and the year after if God allows me to live that longer. And but basically, I'm doing this video because I want to start the new year really clean, you know. So I decided in this opportunity to talk about the mind and to share some information with you. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to share the screen here, and I'm going to share with you some concepts. I hope you can see my screen now. Yes. Okay, some concepts, and then I'm going to express my opinions about it. Okay, feel free to comment about this or to talk about this with me in any social media that I'm sharing this video. So the first concept I want to share with you is about a very difficult word, which is love. And basically the three concepts that I isolate about love, okay? Here there's a little article about love, but I want that you put your attention in the three classes of love, which is actually in this area over here, okay? It says, there are three classes of love between, well, really between anybody, not really women and men. The first one says, first one, it is based on the law of affinity, and it is basically how mankind loves mankind. Okay. Number two says, second one is the making love selection or sexual selection, and it is basically the real magnet attraction between guys and girls, or guys and guys, girls and girls, etc. And the third one is the compulsive love ordered by our negative thoughts and impulses. Okay, so let's go to the first one. And the first one, we're going to put our attention in this so-called love of affinity, which is basically the universal love. When you said, some people say, not you, anybody, some people say, I love my neighbor, I love my students, I love my boss. Well, I don't know. But anyways, that kind of love. I love animals, you know, I love my cat, I love my dog. Not everybody says that. Some people say, I don't know, I don't love nobody. I just love my wife and my kids. The rest is just like, okay. So that wouldn't be in that group. You feel me? So in second one, making love or sexual selection is basically that is the sexual attraction that you feel for somebody else. You got that. And the third one is a compulsive love, when you are obsessed with somebody or with something. It could be also something, I don't know, I love BTS, you know, a band. I love something, and you are really obsessed with that. But in terms of a couple, this could be ordered by negative thoughts and impulses. Okay, so whatever is that neurons that is working in your brain or in a part of your brain is going to tell you you have to be with that person, but with no base on that. Okay, that'll be the third one. Okay, so the question is, which of these three classes you think you are, in which group you are? Okay, that you are in the love of for everyone, like love of affinity, universal love, sexual selection, or compulsive love. Okay, so this is a concept I want to clarify in order to talk about the mind later on, and how it works with our minds. Okay, what is the relation with love and our minds? Before I leave this concept, I want to give you an example. Okay, you and your couple, you are in a restaurant, you're having dinner, and at some point, your couple starts talking about guys, starts talking about, guys in general. Uh, Will Smith, I don't know, Keanu Reeves, I don't know, Justin Bieber, I don't know. And you start feeling a little bit jealous about it. And well, you start saying, well, why are you talking? We're having dinner. We're talking about those guys, And something rockets your mind on that attention and saying, well, why is she talking, or he or she talking about guys? I mean, I feel uncomfortable. I don't really have a reason about that, but I start feeling a little weird. Okay, so in terms of a couple, you're giving, there's a reason so for me to be jealous, but that reason is not based in something that we call analytical reason, like a real base, like a strong base. No, it's just like, come on, we're talking about guys, what's the problem? But it is a problem for some people. Okay, and then is when the mind is working in a particular way, and then we see my love is based on universal love, or is based in a compulsive love, which could be related with possessive love. You won't talk about any other guy, just about me, stuff like that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing here, and I'm gonna share the second concept I wanna share with you to go to a point, which is called the rest stimulator. Okay, probably if you are not in the way of the mind and stuff like that, you never heard this word before. Okay, it's a coin word that some people, people like therapists and guys like that, they invented to refer to a particular situation. Okay, let's read the concept here in the article, and then let's put attention in the example at the end. So it says, a stimulator is a word or expression which activate a trauma from the past. It could be also a place, a situation, a person, an animal, a voice tone, music, a movie, and anything else which makes us feel as if we were experimenting the original trauma without knowing it. Just there, okay? I was checking just a moment ago a documentary in Netflix. I didn't like completely, so I won't mention it because I won't recommend it to 100%. But if you get it, if you see it, it's about the mind, and probably you can see it and have your own opinion. But I'm not recommending it because I think it's incomplete. But part of the documentary is really good, and they are using different words, but they are saying specifically this. Okay, they call it, as they call it in psychology, associations. And basically, an association is a restimulator. Okay, I prefer to call it a restimulator because it's going to stimulate again a sensation from the past. Okay, which is basically what we're seeing here. A restimulator could be many, many things. Could be a person, could be a place like this one, okay? In this moment, you can hear, well, maybe you can hear some noises because I am in my apartment, and you can hear the dog barking across from. You can hear the fireworks because they're celebrating Christmas. You can hear trucks because freeway is just over there. And those noises could create a sensation in me because it's related with something that happened before in my track, in my life. Okay, so I want to now excuse me, you put your attention. You put your attention here, right here in the second paragraph. It says, usually these stimulators are part of the trauma, meaning they were told while you were in a moment of pain or unconsciousness. Example, you were a little baby and you were crying and your parents were discussing and yelling. Everything they said was recorded by your mind. So every time you hear words or expressions like the ones your parents were yelling, you will feel weird and you will experiment a particular emotion. Okay? So there's an experiment called Little Albert, I think. It was an experiment. Well, as I said, maybe if you are you have some psychology education, you will remember that one, Little Albert, which was a kind of a heartbreaking experiment, like the one with the guy who put her little girl in a box. It was kind of creepy. I think Little Albert was less heartbreaking than the other one, but it was basically that a little baby was exposed to rats and to rabbits and to some turtles and animals. He was just a baby, but they created a phobia on that because every time that they put the animal, they sound kind of a bell. I'm talking in times of the 20s, so probably you don't, I don't know if you know or you don't know that, you can Google that. But anyways, if I were a therapist or a doctor in mind, I would do something like that in terms to prove that if you don't have that phobia and you are a little baby, you could be exposed to snakes or rats or whatever, and nothing will happen because there won't be any reaction since this baby has been kind of clear. It's clear. The baby is clear at that moment in terms of not having any trauma. Obviously, this is just an example. I'm not saying that it's going to be like that. But if it's going to be like that, you can prove that when the baby, when the person is a baby, he doesn't have that phobia or that trauma because it doesn't exist. But when you're an adult and you have this fear of rats or insects or reptiles, etc., it has been created through the track, So in this case, you're a little baby, your parents are yelling, and you as a little baby, you're crying. When you're an adult and you see two people fighting, you feel desperate, you feel anxious. Anxiety not necessarily has to be a condition from the DMS. It could be a response of something that you lived before. So you are in your job and you see two people fighting and you start feeling anxious. You start feeling angry yourself. You start crying, etc. So you are, excuse me, you are feeling those sensations from the past, but in present time. And that situation that is happening, that fight, that person, that place, that animal, that is their stimulator. that makes you feel like that makes you have that sensation from the past, but in present time. Okay. Have you ever felt that you meet somebody and you just say to your friends, I don't like that guy. Somebody say, why? I don't like him. Don't like him. I ain't like him. But why? I don't know. I just don't like him. You have no reason. You have no reason to dislike somebody. You have no reason to dislike a place. I don't like that church. I don't like that restaurant. I don't like this city. But the city is Paris. I don't like it. Happens, right? So those are restimulators that make you feel uncomfortable because of a past trauma, okay? Let's move on and let me go to the next concept here, which is called, okay, let me go to emotion first. Emotions. But I hope you can see this one clearly. Yeah, I'm not sure if I am going to appear or not in the in the video. I mean, in this part of the video, I'm gonna put it here. I don't know because I can see myself there, but I don't know if I'm there or not. Anyways, I put it in a place that I'm not blocking the image. So we're talking about mind, and the mind is related a lot with something that we call the tones or emotions. If you understand better. So it's something that is called the tone scale, which is like emotion scale. And I hope to create another video in the future about that with better information. But here's a little bit a candy about that. And it's related with the fact that when we are in pain, our energy is trapped. You can say it's reduced. And we don't behave a 100% the 100, we cannot give our best performance, our 100% performance in life. We cannot give the best of us. Okay, but in this particular diagram that I created for you, we're talking about the prenatal timeline. We're talking about from conception to birth and how traumas or engrams could be created in that time, in that 9 months period of prenatal time, the pregnancy. And it says sadness, homesickness, emotional pain, among others, they don't allow to see what really happened during the prenatal phase. Okay, we're talking about sadness, homesickness, emotional pain, and any other negative emotion, etc., from the mother. If the mother is exposed to sadness, to anger, to emotional pain, or the mother is in another country, she's in China, she's in India, she's in South Africa, she's in another country, far from the States, far from her country, she will feel anxious because she feels homesick. So all these emotional pain, trapped energy, meaning that she cannot perform in the best of the possibilities, and don't allow to see what really happened during the prenatal phase to the therapist, to the person that is trying to help the patients to discover what happened in that time. Okay, so Here we have a person that is having a therapy with a certain patient on discovering what were his or her traumas when he was inside the womb. Okay, let me repeat that. We have here a therapist, could be a psychologist, therapist person who is working with a patient with a particular therapy to discover what happened while he was inside the womb of the mother. Okay, and what we're saying here is that if that mother, she's not present in the therapy because it's the therapist and the patient. We're talking about the patient's mother. So if that mother was exposed to a negative emotion, that would affect the baby. And here we have the diagram of that situation. See on your right side, it says birth here, birth here. And on the left side it says conception. So we're talking in the moment that we have the conception through the 9 months of pregnancy and then birth. What happened in this time? When the person that is in this session with the therapist, the patient with the therapist, when the patient was a baby and he's talking about that, he's going to create something that we call fake track, which is here, fake track. And the fake track is when you say, I don't remember, I don't know, it's very dark, you know, which are, we call bouncers, which are expressions that we say when we cannot see something. We are not talking about anything we are here. You can ask a psychologist or other people, professionals in the area, that is possible to remember what happened before birth. And this is what I'm exposing here. So because of the emotional pain, because of sadness, because of any negative thoughts, the energy of the mother is trapped, okay? And it cannot be released and performed. So the energy of the little baby is also trapped and cannot see. What the therapist is going to do through this therapy, which is basically having a two-way communication with the patient and start talking about the problems and the incidents and the phobias and going back and back and back till start talking about how he or she can remember before birth. Okay, that's the job of the therapist. What he's going to do is to go and pass through the fake track here, pass through the trap energy and reach the real track over here, which is full of these black dots. The black dots are traumas. And his job is to reach these black dots. And every black dot, remember, we're talking about before you got born, before you're born, or you were born, before birth. Because remember that when you're inside, you're already existing. You can hear, you can feel. Okay, I have another concept for that. When you are in the womb, you are like those files. Have you seen when you buy a new computer and you don't have Office? You don't have the Office package? How do you open a document? It's not possible. It appears like a blank sheet. Have you seen that? So you cannot read it, but they are there. The files are there, but you cannot read it until you go to Amazon and buy, Office, whatever. It's something like that here. The traumas are there, but only the good therapist, a good doctor in the mind, therapist, psychologist, applying a particular therapy, they can install the program to open that file. Okay, and the file will be the trauma, because when you are there, you are recording. Okay, with different perceptions. Okay, no particular the classical ones, which is the sight, uh, the smell, the taste, the hearing, okay, the touch, not necessarily those, but other perceptions. Okay, some of those, for example, vision, sightseeing is not possible, but others, yes. And my point is this: your mother is, or let's say the mother of the patient in this case, she is pregnant. You are there. You are the baby. You're recording everything, and she got an argument. She was still working, in her job, and she has an argument with a coworker. Everything that happened there is gonna be affecting the baby. That's a fact. That's a fact. You don't believe me? Google it. Talk to your psychologist. Talk to your priest. In this moment, I think many people know that that's true and that's real. So every argument, every problem, if she was exposed to cold water, too cold water, or too hot water, or bad food, okay, even having sex while pregnancy, all that, baby's gonna feel it. Baby's gonna record it and have it. And all that is gonna have an influence as the way that person is gonna be in the future, and their phobias, and their problems, and their situations. The therapist has to discover that and make the patient remember in this prenatal area, in the pregnancy moment where he was a baby inside the womb, remember all this. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, my parents were discussing. Okay, they say, Mr. Louis, what's wrong with you? That's not possible. It is possible. It is possible. And if you discover that through a therapist, through a doctor, if you discover that, you're gonna be released from, get rid of any phobia, you're gonna get rid of any anxiety, depression, and all these things, stress in general, because you're going to discover that particular words or situations were said when you were in the womb of your mother, okay? The therapy I'm talking about here is called Dianetics. Okay, that's the one that I prefer and I feel comfortable using. But I'm sure there are many others that therapists or a doctor can apply. Okay, some sort of meditation could help too. But the one that I like is that one. Okay, and so this is it. I know it could sound a little bit unreal. Do your own research. Don't believe in me. And let's see how can you get rid of, of voices in your head and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Actually, diagram here, which is this one, right? Anatomy. Let me move from here. Anatomy of the mind. I have another one. We're done for today because I don't want. I know that you have to go to the Christmas party in a moment. So this is how. Okay, if we have the brain, it would be better if I have it like the brain. But anyways, I'm not that good in paint. But anyways, if we had the brain, these guys, the neuropsychologists and this new way of science, the neuroscience and psychologists and people and therapists, all these people, they show you the brain, they show the different part of the brain, this and that, and the frontal lobe and stuff like that. Do this, do that. It's cool, but I'm gonna put my attention in the mind as part of the energy that uses the brain as a transmitter of our thoughts, memory, etc. So what I created here, it's a map of the mind. It's not a mind map. It's a map of an actual mind as I see it. Here on the left side, it says exterior refers everything that is outside, all the information outside that I'm receiving through my perceptions, understand senses and our perceptions. Through that, I feel it, okay, and comes to me. That is going to create something that I call the memory bank, that you're going to see it in a later moment, the memory bank, wherever it is located in the brain, but here is over here next to the exterior. It says memory bank, and these are the archives. Okay, so the archives has every incident that happened in your life, and is like a regular bank. They are deposited. They're depositing, or they're deposit. I'm saying that correct? we deposit that. Sorry, we deposit that in this bank, and the money is the archives, and the memory is like a bank. So we put everything there, and we create something that I call the track, which is the timeline, the track, and we have everything there. So every time that I need to remember something, it's like when I go to the bank and I get money with my ATM card, and through the process I get it. Okay, so in this case, it's like there's a guy inside of me, and he give me the memory, or I put my card in my brain, and I get my archive, or that image, that incident, or that situation, not incident, that situation that I want to remember. Okay, a good reference for that is the I don't know if it's Pixar or Disney, but the movie Inside Out. Inside Out is an excellent movie to understand some part of the mind. So what happens here is that these archives, there's a story here. Sometimes we need it to use it, and we take it to the analytical mind here, which is called me. But basically, well, we have three types of minds. We have the analytical mind, the reactive mind, and the somatic mind. Okay, so all are part of me, but obviously, basically, my real mind is the analytical mind, which is the mind that I can compute. I can compute through this one, and I can have results. And usually, according to some authors, the analytical mind is the perfect computer, because if we had only analytical mind, we will take the best solutions for the hardest problems. Okay, but the mess is that we have these other minds, which is the somatic mind, which is the mind that where everything that we do normal happens. For example, when we breathe, we don't need to think that much. We just breathe. Or we're driving, like we know how to drive. Sometimes we just drive, like a robot. Or when we are jogging, or when we are cooking, but you cook in a restaurant, pretty much you know what to do. So that'll be somatic mind. You don't need to think that much. And the reactive mind, where is all the engrams, or all the traumas that happen in my life, and because of those traumas, I act in this way. But because I don't know, and I don't remember, I don't understand those traumas in the past, as I explained in the previous diagram, that's why I cannot fix my present problem. I am anxious, I am jealous, I am a liar, I am a troublemaker, because the reactive mind is working on me. So in this diagram, well, I don't have the somatic mind, but I have the analytical mind, which makes me work in a proper way. And we have the reactive mind over here at the top, which although the engrams are, I didn't draw them, sorry about that, but suppose that here is like a little archives too, that they are the engrams. And when I use the archive, when I go to the memory bank and get some memories and some archives, I could call them memories on memories, like in the movie Inside Out, I take them and I want to pass it to an analytical mind or to the reactive mind. There's something that we call the demons, which is in the middle. Okay, these demons alter or changes these archives, and if they go this way, they will go in a different way, mess up. They're gonna be completely different, tangled, altered from the original way they were. So that happens pretty much when they go this way. Let me show you this way from the memory bank to the reactive mind. Okay, some of them could go to the analytical mind. Probably the analytical mind is going to reject them, or is going to say, wait a minute, that's not true. That's not true. For example, you're in the subway, going home, and you start thinking, or you see something that a stimulator, and you're just thinking, hey, my wife in this moment is with another man. And analytical mind is gonna say, wait a minute, what's wrong with you? You know that she loves you, you know you're good. What the hell are you thinking? But the reactive mind is thinking, no, maybe she's banging with other guy. So have you seen those cartoons where there's the angel and the devil over here on your shoulders? It's something like that. Analytical mind is saying, hey, what's wrong with you? I mean, that's not possible. I mean, be positive, be clear, and nothing's gonna happen. She's waiting for you with a romantic dinner or with a dinner, simply romantic. But the devil, the reactive mind, is telling you, no, you better hurry up, brother. You better hurry up because maybe she's doing something wrong. So those are the demons talking, and those will go to reactive mind. The reactive mind is gonna accept those demons. So according to some authors, it's not okay when we hear voices. Depends on the person. Some people see it more than others, but we hear voices in our mind and say, oh, no, do this, no, do this. That's not normal, according to some authors. I don't want to scare you, but because it happened to me. So the normal way is just to act. You see something, okay, there's a problem, you need to act, find a solution. But if you think too much, I mean, sorry, I'm going to say that again. If you start listening voices to tell you what to do, that's not normal. Okay. Have you seen the movie A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe, with Harris, Jennifer Connelly? Okay, it's a beautiful movie based on the life of John Nash, the Nobel Prize winner. And it's that in his case, in the case of John Nash, he went beyond the voices. He can see the people around talking. See, it's like having an imaginary friend, but being an adult. So that's the demons, but they're not really devils or demons or Satan army. No, it's just we call it like that because I'm going to show you in the next diagram, because they're talking in your mind and giving you orders and telling you what to do. That's not normal. That's not normal. Okay? Again, Google it. I'm going to go with the last one. It's not really the last one, but it's pretty much the last one because, yes, it's this one. Because the next one is just a picture. And this is dedicated specifically to what we talked before, which is called the demons. Okay, don't be afraid. I'm not talking about Satan or the devil. No, I'm talking about demon circuit. Why do we call it demon circuit? Because sometimes they keep talking and talking and talking. Have you had experience that you're listening a song in your mind all the time? In the 80s, we were thinking all the time in Thriller from Michael Jackson, or in the 70s, we were thinking all the time in Funkin' Town from Lip Sync. I don't know. I suppose these days you're having in your mind that song that you can stop that song. Yeah, I don't want to hear that song again, but the song is keep, you know, drilling your mind. That's called the demon circuit, because it's expressing something that you really don't want. Some people will say, but no, Mr. Lu, you're wrong. I don't have that problem. Well, that's you. Some people that have this self-control, which is amazing. I would love to have that. You know, things like Dianetics, for example, meditation, and any other thing. I prefer something natural, a way of control your mind, yourself, control your emotions in your mind is beautiful. And if you can do it, whether you have it naturally or whether you pass through a therapy and you have it, my God, it's the best. It's the best. The best. It's a blessing from God if you have that. But if you don't have it and you're with me in this and you're saying, yes, I have that. I listen voices. I can't. Sometimes I have a song here. I cannot control it, or I have an image. I remember I was traveling from Miami to Tampa once, and I couldn't stop thinking about, um, you know, like everything related with sex, because there was a couple in the back making some we are noise. I was in a Greyhound, and and I couldn't, and I was like trying to control that. So I arrived to Tampa, and I said to my friend, it happened this to me. I mean, it's so weird. I cannot control this image in my mind. And he took me. We took a walk. We were just walking by Clearwater, and he was just talking to me and say, "Hey, put your attention in that. Look that. Look. Here's the bridge, or the beach, or this park. So put your attention in the church. Put your attention in this, in that building, and this and that." And we returned to Tampa, and I felt better. You know, he said, "Well, that's another way to put your attention in something else and not allow this demon to have you, you know, thinking and thinking about the same." So Jesus Christ, that was like 30 years ago, and now I don't have that problem anymore. I feel that I can control that. It's something similar with some movies that you don't like, whether it's horror movies, for example, or any kind of movies. Typically, it's horror movies. You say, no, I can't stand horror movies. Well, it's something like that. It's a stimulator, you know, like we see in the beginning. So we go again with the external information here, the memory bank. This is the bank that we deposit our experiences, you know, our, so they are archives. Remember the memory balls in Inside Out, they are there. And then this is better because then you can see that they go here, the files, I call it files or archives, the files, they go straight to the analytical mind with no voices, but as a file. It's just when you play sport, for example, soccer, they sometimes some coaches, they say, don't think, just do your thing. Tennis, basketball, baseball, soccer, say don't think. If you think too much, the other guy is going to be in soccer, for example. You got the ball, you're in front you got the ball, you're in front of the goal. You know that you have to think really, really fast, because if not, they're going to come. Okay, I remember the documentary about the American Eye, which is beautiful. That one that I recommend. And they say, and he said, the soccer player Alcides Gigia said in an interview, in that moment I couldn't think. I had to take a decision, or I center or I shoot, and I just took the decision. When I arrived, when I had the ball there, when I received the pass, before I took the decision, and I shoot, and he did the most memorable goal in soccer history. Okay, so you don't have to think. So this is pretty much like being analytical. Just do your thing. Boom, 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 boom. You are working in a company. You have to take decisions. Okay, okay. You have all the information obviously, and you go to the meeting, to start meeting, and say, okay, you have to do this. You have to do this. You want to go there. You want to go there. You got to do this. Boom, 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 boom. I need this. I need this. I need this. Boom. Okay, so meeting is going to be faster. People are going to be clear on what you want from them as a senior, and that'll do. You feel me? So that is more like boom, 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 action, action, action. But when you start having the voices and you have a breakdown in the middle of a staff meeting or in the middle of a soccer match, okay, have you you can remember we have many examples of players missing goals that you cannot believe it. Okay, so it's the demons. So we go to this way now, the other way with the reactive mind. Okay, I didn't draw the somatic mind because I didn't feel that is necessary, but I already explained you what is that. So here we have the reactive mind, and here is the mental voice that I'm talking. It says mental speaker. Well, there's no speaker, but it's like a mental speaker talking there and saying do this, do that, and the demon circuit and saying do this, do that, do this, do that, and start saying and start listening these voices. Or probably not going like listening a voice, but saying, I give an example. We have a senior, we have a junior in a company, and the junior comes to the senior and say, "Hey, Mr. Smith, I have great ideas to improve our productivity. I have these ideas. We should change our dealer. Um, we can have this marketing program. We could change our ads." And the senior is gonna see him and say, "Hey, Georgie, I haven't asked any of these advices. This is my company. I rule my way. We rule our way. We're fine what we have. It's my company, man. You just do your job. Just do your job. That's all what you have to do." So we have, in this case, from my appreciation, the junior had no more intention than share ideas, which I don't see as a crime. The senior rejected them completely. So for me, for my appreciation, the junior was completely analytical and the senior was completely reactive. Okay, because he has no analytical reason to tell the junior, the senior to the junior, to tell him or her, just do your job. We're fine. We don't need any advices. Which, well, in reality, it's not like that. We always need, every recommendation is welcome in most companies. That example explains you that sometimes, in this case, the junior could also be reactive. That was only an example. It's nothing against seniors, but the seniors, the bosses, sometimes they are reactive. And they react in a way just saying, in their mind, say, who is this? In the mind, the little demon here, in the mind saying, who the hell is this guy to come and say, come on, who you at? I'm the boss. I am the boss. So, self-importance and stuff like that, all is just part of the reactive mind. The junior and his expression could be the rocket, which is called the restimulator. The senior reacts on that based on the reactive mind, on his experience, saying, this and that. Because an analytical way to handle that could be from the senior to the junior comes same situation, the junior comes say, hey, I have these ideas, this and that. The senior says, thank you very much, Georgie. That's pretty cool. Thank you. I love it. Maybe in this moment we are, I think we're fine, but I love to hear those ideas. Actually, sit down, explain me more, because also you don't want to be hypocrite, just like saying, oh, yes, it's okay. No, don't tell me. Actually, you can, why don't you send me the full plan of this? We share it with me and the executives, and we check. Probably we can start with some ideas from that. Okay, I love it. That'll be different. I mean, what's wrong with giving, 5-10 minutes of your attention to somebody who is actually wanting to help in your company, which these days we don't see that. But well, That's an engram, that's a trauma for the society. Okay, so that's pretty much how the mind works. And to finish this video, I just wanna tell you guys that I did it particularly because the other day somebody told me something like this: my mind is telling me to be alone. My mind is telling me that I'm gonna end up alone with nobody, But I don't want that, this person was telling me. So this is the concept. This is the concept. All these that I've been talking, and in that particular case is the reactive mind based on the fact that something when you were very little happened, some trauma in the past or engram happened, and that situation is telling you in this moment, red flag to this guy, red flag to this guy, red flag to this guy. No, I prefer to be alone. Okay. Kind of Sex and the City experience. Okay. And finally you end up alone, but you don't want that. You want a family. You want a family. So you don't have the chance to use your analytical mind and say, hey, wait a minute, I really want that. Because the reactive mind is the devil, is the worst. And sadly, we all have them, and we need to get rid of that. Whether with this way, the way I'm explaining, or in any way, meditation, and any other way that you can find to get rid of it. Because when you get rid of the reactive mind, you can think clearly and you can take better decisions in life. For example, I want to have a family, so I'm not going to allow that any voice in my mind is going to tell me what to do. Okay. And if I see that it's going to be a struggling on having that, I'm going to think it's part of the job. It's part of the thing, great things in life, they're rarely free or easy. They're tough, having your own business, finding the love of your life, having a full family, buying a house, buying a car, I don't know, travel all over the world, having a successful company or having a great job. It's not easy. It's not easy, and you know it. So when you go to those crusades in life, you go to that thing in life, remember that reactive mind is going to be tough. It's going to be your first enemy. It's going to tell you, no, you cannot do it. No, you're a loser. No, you cannot do it. No, you're not worth it, etc., etc., etc. The cycle being, whether you can do this therapy or not, you need to, like John Nash in the movie, one moment he says, no more. Okay? Because your life depends on that. Well, the success of your life depends on that, and your life in general. Okay, to have a happier life. Okay, I don't want to scare you. Obviously, many people have survived, whether we reactive mind or not, but the idea is to be happier, right? Okay, guys, thank you very much for sharing this video. And the last picture I'm going to show you is my favorite movie called Gaslight. This movie, just seeing the movie, you understand how the mind works. I don't want to be a spoiler. I think it's not that available, but I think you can find it in HBO Max in some countries, not sure in which ones. But if not, try to see it. Try to see it, probably in YouTube also, or try to get it, because it's the best real life experience, a real life situation that explains how the mind works on a person and how can you damage mind somebody, but at the same time how the mind is so powerful that can, because the mind is always looking for survival. That's a truth. That's real. That's real. Even plants, animals, they look for survival. So that's real. So this movie explains a lot. I want to share this beautiful movie. Sadly, it's another movie from 1944, Ingrid Bergman. if you remember the Swedish actress, very beautiful, and Charles Boyer, Joseph Karin. It's a very beautiful movie. So if you can see it, it's going to help you to understand more about the mind. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry for the improvisation, but well, I do this with love, and I hope you can enjoy it. And well, feel free to criticize me, feel free to correct me, feel free to share information with me. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with everything. Okay. Peace and love. Okay. Take care.